You're a little far from your mic, my man. I tried to like angle it
for me.
Yeah,
like
so like
so
sometimes it's like sometimes I can't see you, and then sometimes it's also like in your face.
You like looking at me?
Can be in your face.
It's okay.
Yeah,
there we go. How about that?
It's good, man. So what happened this week with the NWO thing?
Oh man,
you've been like posting a lot about that.
And
I'm not really that like hip to the whole wrestling scene.
So Scott Hall died. And Scott Hall is one of the founding members of NWO. And
there's like a little like thing on that you can spin to tighten it up.
There we go.
Yeah.
Righty tighty, lefty loosey. There we go. And he had hip surgery, which then resulted in him getting blood clots that traveled to his heart.
Oh wow.
And he had 3 heart attacks. And he passed away because of it. But
in the surgery, it was recent then.
Yeah, it was very, very recent. But the magnitude of his death is highly profiled because he's one of the main wrestlers who changed the structure of the business. Okay. A lot of people look at him as one of the first guys to get wrestlers the big payday. Right? He got his start in WWF as Razor Ramon, probably one of the greatest gimmicks in wrestling. He played a Cuban who lived in Miami. The moniker Razor Ramon is kind of based off of Scarface because you use razors to chop cocaine. So it was, a big play on that whole Cuban Miami Scarface thing. And he was one of the top guys in WWF for years, and then he made the jump over to WCW, the rival, Ted Turner, and he took Kevin Nash with him. And there's a great documentary on the NWO. I'm gonna send it to you, man. Just watch it, because for someone like me at 11, 12 at the time, like, these guys are the closest thing we got to superheroes.
Yeah.
Right. And these guys are jumping through tables and off top ropes, and as a grown man, we equate those moments to those moments of nostalgia to our happiness in our childhood. So like when we lose a hero like or someone of that magnitude, like a Scott Hall or a Kobe Bryant, someone who you looked at as like a real life superhero, man, it hurts. It hurts a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like damn. Like he's actually one of the first wrestlers I actually remember. Like when I, as a kid, like starting to watch wrestling. Outside of like Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior, like the early guys. He was one of the newer guys, like the next wave of wrestlers who came in and really kind of changed the business and started NWO. And he had a tough life. He battled alcoholism, and he was addicted to alcohol. And I'm not sure if drugs ever played a part there, but he just had a rough off-screen life. And for him to really bounce back, and he was going on tours now, he had kind of got reassociated with being the face of wrestling and stuff like that, and then gets his life together, and then this happens. It sucks. So
damn, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So pretty unexpected.
Yeah.
Seems like.
So yeah, man, I think the documentary is called Life in Black and White or something like that. But it's about the NWO and like how people really thought that shit was real, because what they were doing was so off, so inverse of what WWF was doing.
Yeah.
And trying to, like, they were doing things that was scripted, but it just looked totally unscripted. Like they came in as like they weren't really wrestlers. Like they were like, it's great. I'll send it to you.
I'll just check it out. Yeah, I'm not fun. Like I said, I'm not that familiar with like that world. So, but
the behind the scenes stuff is, I think you'll appreciate.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for asking about that, man.
Yeah, dude. I just saw you.
I was just paying my homage.
Paying respects, yeah. So
I'll
bring it up. But it. Have you watched anything since we last?
Turning Red has been on rotation in my house.
So you've watched that multiple times now?
At least 12, 13 times.
Oh, wow.
It's all my kids. Like, it happened with Encanto. It happened with Turning Red. Well, every new Disney Plus movie, my kids go crazy. And it's just on all the time.
So I watched Turning Red and Encanto.
Yeah, let's talk about those. We never talked about them.
I watched that, like, both of those back to back this past week.
Good.
Like, went down the animation, like, rabbit hole.
Did you cry at any point?
Got caught up. I didn't. You know,
Okay.
I didn't think either of them were, like, super emotional.
Okay.
I know they tried to be.
They tried.
I know they tried
pushed.
to be. I thought out of the two, which did you prefer out of the two?
Encanto.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Interesting.
think Encanto's great because, one, as a black guy, the representation,
Yeah.
right? Like all the spectrum of Latin America was covered. You know what I mean? So like seeing
diversity was
the diversity was there. So I appreciated that. And I just first of all, I'm a sucker for anything with Disney music in it. Like I'll just, I thought the soundtrack was amazing, like Surface Pressure, like my daughter does, like the drip pressure like a drip, drip, drip. She loves that shit. I just thought it was I liked it. I thought it was thorough. I thought it was pretty thorough. I appreciated her kind of like hero's journey, her arc, Mirabelle. Mm-hmm. She's, one of my favorite parts is she finds out what she has to do in her bedroom, and then she's like, how do you save a miracle? Like she's like all about like I gotta go do this shit, and then she gets to the door and she's like, I don't even know what to do. And then you go on the journey, which I thought was dope.
Yeah. What was your takeaway in the end of that movie as far as like the protagonist's kind of resolution? Because Emily had an interesting perspective on this.
I thought,
and I'm just curious as to how other people interpreted it.
Apparently, Mirabelle, the name means miracle in Spanish. So realizing that she wasn't given a gift because she is the gift that keeps the Encanto, that's going to keep the Encanto
going,
prospering and keep it going. I'm assuming once the grandmother passes away or what have you.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great kind of spin on, because she's able, and my wife pointed out something in the movie. She's able to see the family as they are because she doesn't have a gift.
Yeah.
So her perspective on everything and everybody and how they go about their life isn't what's the word I'm looking for? Isn't screwed because she doesn't have anything to object her view of the family, where everyone else is, like I just said with Surface Pressure, Louisa, she says, I'm a servant, like I'm a soldier, basically.
Yeah.
And Isabella, she's like, I gotta be perfect. And, so they all have to deal with something in regards to the family, where Mirabelle is kind of looked at as an outcast, but she's able to see right through everyone's kind of exterior of what they are polished to be because of their gifts.
Siri's talking to us. So you enjoyed like the arc of characters and you enjoyed the resolution.
I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. I gave it like a 9 out of 10.
So Emily was like, what a terrible ending, because we go through all of that and she gets no power.
The first time I watched it, I was like, and she still didn't get a gift?
Yeah. So and then I had this like moment with Emily and I was like, hey, you have to realize that there are kids out there that aren't very special. and they need their own stories too.
Right.
Which is what this is. It's okay.
It's okay to not be special.
To not be strong or beautiful or
whatever.
whatever.
That's a great takeaway.
You can still be important
and not be special.
Correct.
Damn, give me some, bro. That was great,
it was just a funny moment because she looked at it like, this is terrible. What a terrible resolution.
Yeah, it was a joke in my house. My brother-in-law usually comes over on Saturday and brings his kids, and like they were all excited and singing the songs. And he said the same thing. He was like, it was shitty. She didn't get a gift at the end.
Yeah.
But I was like, she is the gift, man. Like she is,
Yeah.
That's it. She's the gift, and it's okay to not be special.
Yeah. So I was pretty impressed with Encanto. I thought it was really well done. Some of the songs, the music and everything is obviously very current and updated.
Yeah, I thought that was.
So I appreciated that.
That was pretty cool for a Disney movie, for the music to not be so Disney and be more, be more hip.
I felt like lyrically it was a little soft at times. Like I don't know. There are some songs that just I feel like in the legacy of Disney or in their catalog just were a little bit more captivating lyrically. It felt like they just took the script and then just made them sing the script rather than having like songs or something. It was weird. I don't know.
Like what's the song? Isabella, your boyfriend's that song where they're just kind of talking through the song.
Yes.
I feel you.
So it felt like most of the songs were kind of in that space. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done. It's very impressive what Disney has been able to do with their like animation department and how far they've come. I was thinking about like at the end of that movie, how cool it would be to be a kid in this generation with such a like big catalog of like awesome content.
Yeah.
Because when we were growing up, not that there weren't good movies, but like it was a different time. You didn't get Disney films on. I mean, you got them on a regular basis, but they weren't like cranking out like several a year, which you have all these different studios now that are cranking.
You may have gotten one new Disney movie every 3?
Yeah,
4 years?
I don't know the exact cycle, but it wasn't as frequent. And not all Disney movies, and I know that people will debate this, but not all were like real bangers. Like some are actually pretty dark, right?
Yeah,
and like kind of weird. So I feel like you can't really blame our generation for being as cynical as we are. Like
Frozen,
101
Frozen
Dalmatians
yeah.
I mean, she's skinning dogs.
Yeah, bro.
That's the concept.
Yeah.
Such a dark concept for children. I wouldn't watch that movie now.
Yeah. We watched, did you watch Cruella?
I did.
I didn't get it.
I thought Cruella was, Disney does this thing where like they can make like really, really masterful films. Like it looks really good.
Mm-hmm. It did look really good.
I thought all the acting was really solid.
Yeah.
It's taking movies like that and trying to transition them into like a 2.5 hour, like, narrative that makes sense for everybody, I think is really challenging. I think they did a pretty good job with it. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I necessarily like have to have more of them. I feel like there are probably more on the way, but
Disney's villain verse. Cruella and Maleficent.
It's an interesting departure.
They're trying to do that whole thing, and
but it's a cool time to be alive. I feel like if you're a kid, because I feel like you've got a lot of awesome content, right? I mean, Turning Red and Encanto, like back to back.
So, what did you think about Turning Red?
I'm a sucker for Pixar movies. I think that they, from a storytelling perspective, I think they are a little bit more nuanced and. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't, it's interesting. I feel like the last few Pixar movies have kind of been like B Pixar movies.
Yeah.
Like, they've not really had any like huge.
Yeah, Soul
huge
wasn't.
Bangers. I thought Soul was really good, but that was like the beginning of the pandemic and everything was kind of weird. Like, I felt like that was their last big hoorah before like the pandemic happened. And it also like really botched the rollout of it.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because I think that movie is something that probably would have benefited a
theatrical
lot
release
from. Well,
it was straight to
not even like a straight theatrical release as much as just like a traditional movie environment, like a traditional like because I feel like everybody was like all over the place not everybody had settled into the whole streaming thing yet. People were trying to figure out what's happening with movie theaters.
Yeah.
There was all these delays. So they were like big promotional pushes. Then the movie never came out, and then people kind of forget about it. And then Disney decides to, put it out on streaming. And so I don't know. And it also like, I know Christmas is a big day. They put it out on Christmas. I know that's like a big day for movie theaters and movies and whatnot in general. But I always feel like I kind of lose track of what happens. Like when something comes out at Christmas, I always kind of like, I've always thought that that's a weird release strategy. Like there's a couple, like Avatar 2 is like December 22nd or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, am I really going to try to get to the movie theaters for a 3.5 hour movie the week of Christmas? That seems kind of crazy.
Before I had kids, my cousins and I, that was what we would do after. So prior to, me being married and having kids, my baby cousin, we would all get together because it was about her. She's the youngest of us. And, so we would all get together, do the Christmas morning thing with her. And then we would, do like a happy hour and then go to the movies. And that's when I saw the first of the new trilogy, The Force Awakens.
Oh, okay.
Right? So I think that was the last one I saw on Christmas.
Got you.
So that was a tradition for us. Like we would go and see whatever new movie was on Christmas.
So maybe like a lot of people have that tradition, perhaps. I've heard of people having that tradition. My family did not have that tradition, so maybe that's just...
so like, but yeah, I feel you. And I think... but
then they had like Luca. Wasn't there another one in there?
Yeah, Luca, Soul... Encanto, Turning Red.
Encanto is Disney. Turning Red. And maybe it's just those three. Maybe it's just Turning Red, Luca, and
because the Pixar doesn't do. They don't do the songs.
Correct. Yeah, they don't do the songs.
Okay.
So
it's hard to. They're the same company, but it's hard to. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Turning Red, I thought was awesome. I thought. Again, man, I love representation. I think the staying true to the nuances of anime and Asian animation, right? In certain instances, staying true to that was huge.
Yeah.
The in certain parts where they would do like the glossy eye. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was great. What was the being that gave them the panda gift?
I can't remember her name.
I thought that was a kind of a great aspect of it, and also my brother-in-law pointed this out to me. He was like, "This is kind of it shines a spotlight on some aspects of perfectionism that Asian parents project onto their children." So for that part of it to come full circle too was huge because it shows that can come to a resolve as well. I thought it was great storytelling. Like I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And the panda looked really good.
Yeah, I feel like that was the big win for Turning Red. Was the characters were probably a little like the panda character was probably more iconic, and again, I thought maybe the story was a little bit more put together than Encanto. But Encanto was like visually probably the strongest. Yeah. It was very, very fun.
It had a lot going on. Yeah, it had a lot
very fun to watch. So strong marks for both of those.
Yeah.
It's a really good
while we're here,
animation season.
What did you think about Luca? Because that was last year, right?
I didn't watch Luca.
You didn't watch Luca yet?
Not. That like came and went and I like hadn't, it just was like right over me. Did you watch it?
I
felt like everybody was like, everyone was like, it's fine.
Luca's fun. Luca's fun. It's a time period piece about a fish boy in it's Italy. Yeah, Italy. He goes to the surface, and what happens when he dries off? He turns into a boy.
Why is he a fish boy and not a merman?
Because mermen are like men, and then they got.
So he's a full-on fish.
Nah, he's like a creature, like a sea creature, sea monster, a sea being.
and he's a
boy.
but a boy,
Right? And then
so he's like has human aspects, even as a monster.
He's humanoid, right?
And then when he comes out of the water, he's just
When he dries off,
a dude,
and he doesn't know this.
Oh,
So when he gets to the surface and he dries off, it's a shock to him. And then he pretends to live his life as a regular person. And then like shit happens, like washes his hands and it rains and stuff like that. And he's trying to. So there's some great writing there.
Okay.
I thought it was. I enjoyed it.
All right.
I mean, I'm a big kid, so I enjoy it.
I love that. No, yeah. I've always been a huge sucker for Pixar stuff, so I was excited to kind of get back into
that was a good one.
A little bit. What about Daredevil? They're saying Daredevil's getting a reboot.
Interesting. So,
which I'm not really sure what that means in the context of this current situation.
Netflix lost all of their Marvel property stuff, and it went over to Disney Plus. And obviously, we saw Matt Murdock, the Charlie Cox version of Daredevil in No Way Home. What this means is not necessarily that the Netflix stuff is canon to the MCU, but
it's all available on Disney.
And now it's available on Disney Plus. And I think what's going to happen is they are just going to continue using these characters in as a soft reboot, right? Okay. It's going to be the Disney interpretation now.
But are you going to be reintroduced to them, or is the expectation that we all know who these people are?
I think that given that this stuff is now on Disney Plus, it's just going to just carry over, and
it'll just be like less dark iterations of these characters, probably
more PG-13
it'll be more
than
within,
TVMA.
Yeah, more within the canon of what we expect.
With that, this is interesting because there was an update to the Disney Plus app, and I logged on yesterday.
Oh, I saw this too.
And there is a setting now per profile.
Yeah.
Of what your
the TVMA.
Yeah, what your adult viewing setting is. So you can be TVMA. If it's a child account, it will be filtered. So they may go. They can now go a little darker because now it's just not. You're just not having content that's unfiltered. Now, it used to be you just go into a Disney Plus profile, you can watch anything.
Yeah.
And now you have your set filter rating. So you can, and
hard to imagine that they would keep it dark though.
The Mandalorian stuff and Boba Fett stuff at some points was TV a little dark.
But did they classify it as that or no?
I think.
I mean, you didn't have
I don't think so.
You didn't have that rating when those shows were out. So
no,
it has to be just for these Netflix series.
Yeah, just because they're
because
there.
I remember that there was some like discussion about now like how the Disney like app was kind of no longer family friendly. Like people were talking about that online, how it's kind of bringing these over kind of tainted it a little bit. It was no longer a safe place.
I think if you're paying for an app, you would kind of have the expectation that Disney does make stuff that's not necessarily kid friendly. Like they do make PG-13 stuff, you know what I mean? So
yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. I definitely understand what you're saying. I don't know if it's I think that filtering the content will help it, but I do get that I guess you turn on the Disney because the Disney name is associated with fucking Mickey Mouse. So it's now you got Mickey Mouse and Punisher on there beating the shit out of somebody. So that's true. Yeah. So I guess.
Yeah.
If I was a strict parent where I didn't want my kids seeing Daredevil or Punisher,
it could be an issue. But I guess now that you have the settings, you should be fine.
Yeah, it should be okay.
What about Benedict Cumberbatch making some pretty big claims about the new
Doctor
Strange film being on the same level as Spiderman? I mean, it doesn't seem like it's out of the question.
Yeah,
I feel like that.
Everyone knows how I feel
has to
about
be a pretty solid
Doctor
movie.
Strange, the character, but Benedict's my boy. And I don't think we're going to get traditional formulaic Marvel movies anymore. And we'll get a few, right? Like, Shang-Chi kind of stuck to its formula of, the hero's journey.
Yeah.
Has a villain, crisis, he gets introduced to the Avengers. Like, that's kind of how each one of those movies work. They have a formula, they stick to it. But I think for now, with like the larger characters, right? Every movie is going to be an event now with crossover characters.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're still gonna have like small one-offs.
Yeah, there's going to be some small ones, but the major.
But you think that they're probably gonna just lean into trying to make all of them big events?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of
they've
had the most success with it.
There's no reason to do a 10-year build up to something major anymore.
Yeah,
and you watch these movies to see literal live action comic books. Yeah. And what's so great about reading a comic book is when characters just pop in or cross over or help out on a mission and stuff like that. So
who do we see in this movie that who's going to be a surprise?
So this is the setting is, because we've never gone into depth about Strange 2, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm sure we will when it gets like closer. But
so it picks up with Marvel's leaning into their multiverse stuff now.
Yeah.
And with Loki and the Scarlet Witch WandaVision show, what am I missing? Primarily those two shows really lean into alternate universes and alternate timelines.
Spider-Man does too.
Spider-Man did. Yeah. And now Doctor Strange's movie, we're going to credit the post-credit scene in No Way Home, picks up with Strange and Wanda now conversing about the multiverse. And it's always been hinted at in the Doctor Strange lore that, even throughout his the Infinity Saga, he talks about the multiverse. We don't know about the multiverse and time, and Avengers Endgame kind of dealt with it. Ant-Man 2 kind of talked about it.
I feel like it's been a running thread in a lot of films.
Now we're really leaning into it. And the What If series really gave us a peek of what we could possibly see. And the setup here is, I don't want to get into theories, but the setup apparently is going to be one of those, it's going to be like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure on crack. Like, it's just going to, where they're just going through different iterations of universes to this.
So you think we could see a lot of characters, or you think it's going to be like?
Yeah, I think we're going to get a shitload. I think, obviously, we heard Patrick Stewart's Professor Xavier's voice in the trailer, and so of course he's denying being in the movie.
Yeah,
but apparently,
seems like he's in the movie.
Apparently, there's a long list of, we're gonna get some iterations of X-Men. We're gonna get a version of the Illuminati, who is basically a secret group of characters who kind of behind the scenes make decisions about events with all corners of the universe. So you have Professor X, who is a part of that.
So maybe that's what he's referring to. Yeah. This is going to be on that level.
It's going to be that level.
There's going to be a lot of reveals that will be,
This is a great way to do it. This is a great way to just Spider-Man. Bust open the multiverse. And people have been waiting a long time for the X-Men since they got purchased in what was that, 2019?
You think you see Tony Stark again?
That's what's been rumored, that there's going to be a variant of Tony Stark that's going to be played by Tom Cruise. I'd love to see that. There's a rumor that John Krasinski will officially be Mr. Fantastic in this version, like part of this Illuminati. There's a rumor we're going to get Captain Carter, Agent Carter, Peggy Carter, who assumes the role of it's the super soldier formula instead of Steve Rogers. So apparently she's there. We're gonna get an Illuminati version of the Black Panther.
A lot of things.
We're gonna get so much shit, man. Yeah, I don't.
Say.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see where it goes because, you know, we went through 10 years of one kind of slow step by step build up.
Yeah,
which was a saga, which was great, and now we kind of busted open post Endgame to now. There's going to be so many climactic events happening all across the Marvel universe that's just going to be isolated to these small pockets of people.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm excited for it.
Well, speaking of Tom Cruise.
Great segue.
Yeah.
You're great. You're good at that.
The new Top Gun, Maverick, which was supposed to come out in 2019 and has been postponed.
Again.
Since then.
That's like 3 years.
It comes out in May now, so they're not postponing it anymore, at least so they say. But it's going to premiere at the Cannes Film Festival, which is kind of interesting. It seems like a strange place for that.
Yeah, I feel like it's too blockbuster.
Premiere, but it must be good. I don't think they would be doing all of that if it wasn't, and I don't think that they would continuously delay it if it's not going to be good. Were you a fan of Top Gun, the original? Are you looking forward to the sequel?
What? Goose and Maverick, bro. Anytime it was on HBO as a kid, like I was watching that shit. It was the movies that stick out for, you know, as a child for me with HBO were Days of Thunder, Tom Cruise, and Top Gun. So I'm surprised I haven't done Days of Thunder yet. Like tried to like revisit that. But I am, first of all, Tom Cruise is the fucking man. He's like 60 and still doing his own stunts.
Yeah, we do like Tom Cruise.
And he is like so passionate about his projects. Did you ever hear the leaked audio of him yelling at everybody about not following COVID protocols? Like he wants this stuff to happen, right?
He's very committed.
So he's one of those guys that puts his heart and soul into a project, and you know he just delivers every time. So I'm ready for these new Mission Impossibles. I'm ready for Top Gun.
They delayed the Mission Impossibles quite a bit. I think they delayed it like a year.
Yeah.
Which is pretty wild.
But I also think, you know, of course the pandemic is playing a part in that, but they expect these movies to make, you know, the budget for them is probably like $200 million. So they're expecting a $500 million weekend for these type of movies.
Yeah.
And I think it could do it. Batman did what, like 450?
Batman just crossed 500 million.
Just crossed 500.
Just globally.
Well, yeah. They want to make that money back. And, you know, you want to be sure. I think the Batman was a great introduction to the theater of what a post-COVID world could be. Like, we can slowly get back to it. So I just think those guys are like, we just want to play this right and just make sure it can release and have a successful release.
I have an interesting, this is a tangent.
Go for it.
Buckle up.
Enjoy. I'm
going
to drink and make a drink.
It relates to the Batman. So when I went, we're not going to spend a lot of time on the Batman because we talked about it last week, but when I went to, and this is also about the return to the theater. When we went to see the Batman, I bought tickets, right? You pick your seat.
Right.
And a lot of availability. So I picked the seats that I want. It's great. Go to the theater. And I had kind of screwed up. I didn't count the numbers right. So I got a seat with Emily, but we had like arms like in between us. Like, you know what I mean? You know how like the seats are generally coupled?
Oh,
like they're
you
pairs.
Did it.
Right?
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, Cinemark.
That's easy to mess up, yeah.
Just odd numbers for whatever reason. So we had like 2 armrests in between us as opposed to the 1. And I was like, well, maybe I'll just switch over. Let me see like
if they'll
let me see if all the other seats are bought. So I pull up the app on my phone.
That's like that. Okay.
Every seat bought. Every seat unavailable. And this is like 20 minutes before the movie starts. And I'm thinking that's
odd.
Interesting, but it is a popular movie, so sure. maybe it all sold out. And no one ever showed up.
Did you just take the seat?
We didn't wind up moving.
You just watched it?
We just watched it the way that it was. But so somebody did show up on her side. So somebody showed up on her side and we couldn't shift that way. And then some people showed up a few chairs down from me, but then they all put their bags in the chairs between us.
Don't do that.
So I didn't have and also I'm thinking up until the movie starts, I'm thinking like, well, maybe they'll show up, into the previews. Some people like to come late.
Yeah, that gives you a good 25 minutes.
I'm not going to move all my stuff like 10 minutes into the movie.
Right.
Anyway, tons of seats though that they said were sold were not sold. So somebody's lying, dude.
Are they buying out the tickets?
I have no idea, but somebody's lying. And it's just more of a conspiracy theory tangent that I thought it was interesting. Because I remember thinking to myself, I was like, damn it, dude, somebody's lying about this. Someone's like, oh, yeah, we sold out Batman every night this week. And they did.
Did they?
No, they didn't. But yeah, Batman crossed 500 million globally, which is great. Probably secures the sequel if it wasn't already secured already. I'm sure they were going to make it no matter what. But it's going to drop on HBO Max in April, which some people were kind of surprised by because it's a relatively short window. But I think Warner Brothers has a 45-day window from theater to HBO Max. I feel like you could even go shorter than that, but I think
you can go 30 days.
I think it would probably.
Well, I guess 45 secures that box office money. Right?
Yeah, but like I feel like you could do a more narrow window. Anybody that's going to go see it 45 days after the fact, if they want to see it in a theater, they're going to go see it in a theater.
Yeah. I think if the window were short, your
window of like your customer window from 30 to 45 are not like.
That's just 2 weeks. It's not
that. It can't be that relevant.
I think 30 days is fine.
30 days is fine.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to milk it.
I guess there was some surprise though. People were a little shocked because they were like, oh my gosh, it's doing so well. Why would they pull it? I don't know. There were some articles about it that people were like caught off guard that it was coming so quickly. But I think that that's pretty consistent with what their release strategy is.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, because I want to see it again, but I don't think I'm definitely
not sitting in a theater again.
I'm not going to sit in a theater again for it. I don't think I'd pay another $20 to sit. Like I saw it, and I know that it's coming to streaming in a month and a half. I'm okay with waiting to see it again on the subscription that I pay for HBO.
I don't know why they don't. I don't get why this isn't a thing yet. I've bitched about it many times. I don't know why you can't rent. And I know that like if you're Kanye West, you can. But I don't understand why like I can't go into iTunes and rent the Batman right now for like $50.
Yeah.
Just buy it. Just rent it. Like I don't understand why I can't just rent it.
It'll probably.
Maybe they think people are gonna like steal it or copy it or record it or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Probably.
But
yeah, probably.
It just seems like kind of absurd.
You should be. Of course, it will be available for digital release and renting once it hits HBO Max.
Sure, but I just feel like
I should be able to just.
I feel that for like every movie, like even if like you could do like the same release date. It's just like if you want to watch it at home right now, it's $200. And next week it'll be $100, and then the week after that it'll be $75.
Yeah, down.
And then eventually you can just buy it, or it's the normal rental price.
Yeah,
like I just don't get why you can't. I don't know.
Yeah,
like because to your point, like the Batman, I would have gone to see it in theaters. I enjoyed it. I really did. Maybe I'd watch it again. Maybe I'd pay $20 to watch it again. But now I'm gonna wait for it to come out on HBO Max. I'm not gonna pay anything. I guess I have the subscription, but I don't know. Just an interesting thing I've often thought about.
Well, as we've realized in the last couple episodes, is that whoever is the boss of cinema is an idiot.
Not listening to us.
Yeah, they just don't get how to work theaters. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Going back to that topic, having gone to Cinemark recently in Towson, and I don't mean to trash Cinemark because I've brought them up a few times, but really gone downhill, man.
Cinemark?
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand why. I'm sure it's better than a lot of other ones. Like
It's probably the best regional theater we have.
Yes, but oh man, not great.
Well,
Not great.
Think about this, right?
The bathroom was like out of World War Z. There was like, in like the soap dispensers.
Yeah.
Like, it's so bad that like somebody came to replace the soap, but they didn't have any more soap, so they just left the soap dispenser down, and they're all empty, and they're all like taken apart. And they're just like sitting there, and somebody was just like, well, I guess we'll just wait for new soap to show up. I'm not going to put these back together now. And then like
well, who works at theaters, man? Shitty teenagers, bro.
Like
they don't care. They're just there. Like
no towels to dry your hands anywhere.
Now, for what
None of the sinks work.
What you're charging for people to come in?
Oh, dude, it was $30 a ticket to go see the Batman.
You would think that theaters would be like provide customer service like the goddamn Apple Store or the Ritz. You know what I mean?
I bought,
but they don't. They hire teenagers. They pay them $15 an hour. And what do you expect for $15 an hour?
It is kind of wild. I bought an alcoholic beverage and a Diet Coke, and I ordered those things, and they never rang me out. So I was like standing there.
You could have just walked away.
I was standing there, and for like 5 minutes, and then eventually somebody came over and they're like, "Do you need help? Like, what else do you need?" And I was like, "Nobody."
Do I pay for this?
You want me to pay for this? Or, and the kid, it was the same kid that gave me the drinks.
Yeah, yo, like they're kids.
What's happening?
They're kids. I don't even think they're old enough to serve alcohol. They're just like, don't you got to have like a register, like manager key to serve alcohol? Like,
no, not in Cinemark, not in Towson.
They're just, we went to see.
There's like 5 people in that theater at any given time, and that's how it feels.
Yes.
And it's massive.
It's huge.
Huge.
It's a huge theater if you've ever come to Baltimore, the Cinemark.
There's like 400 lounge chairs.
Yeah, all over the place. It's like 2 levels.
Or the reserve level or whatever.
I didn't even know there was a bar upstairs.
Yeah.
I just, when we would go for release night, there was usually like a pop-up bar.
Yeah.
So I would just get my drink there.
Well, there's a bar downstairs.
And that one,
where you can order regular drinks and all that kind of stuff. But if you go upstairs, there's like another
lounge
bar
with like
and it's
TVs
like a lounge.
and shit.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know this until I went to see Eternals. And because I think I don't know. I took some managers in my bag, so I wasn't even pressed to get like a drink or whatever. I just brought my own shit.
See, I've done that too, and Emily judges me for it, but she sneaks in French fries.
Don't let her judge
you. Yeah, dude. It's absurd. It's absurd.
I've taken burritos into the movies. Like
also, like they have French fries there.
And
it's Cinemark.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're good or not.
I don't either.
But you're bringing external French fries into the theater.
Don't judge my external liquor.
Don't judge what I'm bringing into the theater. Don't do it.
Yeah. I just feel like come on, man. How old are we? We are like, every single person in the world has snuck in a snack to the movie theater. Whether it's your own Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, and no one's checking.
When you were a kid and your parents took you to the movies,
there's 3 employees.
You would go to the gas station, get what you want, put it in your mom's purse, and then when you get in the movie, she's like, "What did you want? Which one did you want?"
Here's these
like, you don't have to whisper. They're not gonna bring the armed guard and take us out. You know what I mean? Just give me my Sour Patch Kids and let's watch. Let's go. I love that. But back to the Cinemark, I just ordered like a Truly and like a shot of Jameson, and it was a heavy pour. Like it was like, and I just was like, all right. And she charged me $7. I was like, that's an example of like they don't care. It doesn't matter how nice the movie theater is. Movie theaters hire teenagers, and this is the service you're gonna get.
Man, what a time.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, speaking of the death of movie theaters, Amazon buys MGM. Hey, 5. Come here. Come here. Come here.
You want to tell us what we're drinking while
I was just saying that Amazon's purchase of MGM is finally going through. Oh, what we're drinking. Great question.
It says Baltimore.
Yeah, it's from Baltimore. You can tell the people what it is. Do it in the mic, though. Let them know.
Baltimore.
You can hold the bottle up so people can see it.
Epoch?
Epic, I would
Epic?
think. Epic?
EPOCH.
Epoch.
Straight rye whiskey. Epoch. I'd say epoch. Aposh.
I guarantee you were saying it completely wrong.
I've butchered it. I haven't said it right in all the iterations.
It's the first time I've ever had it, so I don't.
Where'd you get it from?
It was a gift. Somebody gave it to me.
You got good friends, man.
Yeah.
Cheers. See what this tastes like. It smells good. I love a good rye. You put me on to the 12-year rye of Bullet, and it's still my favorite.
Yeah, that's tricky to track down. It's not always available.
Whew, that hits. Has a bite.
Yes, it does.
This is a man's whiskey.
Certainly feels like it.
Yeah, this is definitely hair on your chest. Kind of tastes like scotch. Has a scotchy flavor. It's good though. We still drink on this show.
Yes, not as much.
But
Not
Amazon,
as much as we used to.
not as I was watching those early episodes, and I could see like at the points of we were drinking a lot, so I could see at points where we were like losing ourselves. Like you get like flush.
Oh yeah.
I was slurring my words.
Yeah, dude, there's episodes that didn't even make it out. That's the truth.
Good stuff, man.
That's the truth.
I'm glad we've matured talent wise, and we know
That's
how
true.
to balance both. But MCM, is it Amazon
MGM.
buys MGM
Which
Studios?
is like James Bond. And
Yeah.
There's a lot of
we didn't
stuff
talk
in
about
there.
that. So I think
Silence of
with
the
that,
Lamb.
of course, and they got Lionsgate too in that deal.
Yeah.
So
Part of it.
with that, now Amazon has in-house production to supply Amazon Prime,
Yeah.
right? So this is their way of being able to compete with HBO being owned by Warner Brothers, or in Disney owning Marvel Studios.
Yeah, they had to do something.
So now they can pump out horror flicks. Amazon is known for the more unfiltered, adulterated stuff. The Boys. Shout out to Langston, family friend. He's out there on that show doing his thing. Invincible, which is more of an adult cartoon. What me and my wife tried to get into. What is it, Jack Reacher?
Yes.
Yeah, it's more true to the novel apparently than the movie was.
Okay.
With Tom Cruise. She finished it. I bailed. I still love Ryan Dickinson though. He's in one of my fan casts for a Marvel role, so I hope he gets it. Or they see my post and say, get this guy.
Yeah.
But I love all of the Jack Ryan stuff. So now that they have the Bond stuff.
Interesting to think about whether or
Yeah.
not Bond will ever go back to theaters.
Well, at least now I think they get the whole catalog. So now you can just go to Amazon Prime and just watch all Bond, right?
Yeah. Is it out? Is it available now, or
I
are you
don't-
saying it might be available at some point in the future?
I'm sure it'll be available. Like once the ink dries.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on there now, but I love how each app has a season. When I used to complain that there wasn't enough content on each app, but
It's only a matter of time.
yeah, but now it's like, okay, a show releases, Netflix has me for like 2 weeks. Then Disney Plus will have me for 8 weeks because they do 1 or 2 shows at a time, and Apple TV will hold me over.
Yeah.
So I just literally just jump from app to app depending on what content is out. And there may be like one show on each app that I'll watch concurrently.
Sure.
So I got fooled last week.
Damn.
I got really fooled last week because there was no episode of Severance.
I still haven't started that yet. I was finishing up Pam and Tommy, and I started The Dropout.
I bailed, yeah.
The Pam and Tommy wraps up well. It's a good show overall, I thought. Sad kind of ending. You feel bad for everybody involved. But yeah, so we started The Dropout. We've been kind of into that. And gosh, what's the other one? This Flag Means Death or whatever that one's called on HBO.
Yeah, you told me about that.
So I got to get over to Severance. But my problem with the Apple TV thing isn't, again, we've talked about this many times, but I have such little faith in Apple TV shows. It's like hard for me to like pass up. Like when HBO has got, you know,
the
new
shit.
shows.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, this is going to be better.
Yeah.
You know, I got to allot my time accordingly. So when I have nothing left to watch,
Then you'll go to Apple TV.
I'll drop back down to Apple TV.
Yeah.
And that's their own fault.
That is. And I think
In a world like this, that's their own fault. You have more,
they got
have
more
money
than
God.
enough money. And I think where they suffer is they don't own any IPs. Like everything is original. So
Yeah, but that was how it was for Netflix too.
yeah. I don't know. Netflix stuff is just, I don't know. Netflix is kind of more hardcore. They can get away with literal
Well,
murder
Netflix throws so much crap at you all of the
All of
time,
it.
and they don't really care whether it's good or not. It's just some of it hits, and that's great. Apple is trying to do this thing, I feel like, where they're trying to like curate everything like a fine wine.
Yeah.
And the problem is whoever's doing the curating is doing a bad job.
Yeah, it's like it wants to be the Ruth Chris of streaming apps, and it's like
It's not great.
I'm okay with Outback, bro.
Yeah, it's not great.
Like,
I don't know. Hopefully they'll get it together. Tough to say. Well, that kind of gets us down to the end of it here. There's not tons of news or things to talk about really this week. As far as what's opening, not too much. Theaters are still trying to come back. There is a new A24 film called X, which is a horror film. It looks pretty good. It's got like a very like kind of like 70s, like 80s, like retro vibe, like
I love period
old
piece.
school horror film kind of vibe. Yeah, and it's like it's shot. It looks like it's very like authentic. If you're into that type of thing, like if you were into Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street or whatever, it's like authentically that.
Okay.
And it's got very good reviews. I think it's. I'm gonna backtrack. It looks like those films, like it was shot at that time. It's probably going to be much better than those films, obviously. Like it has like a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes or something.
Already?
So,
Damn.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that it's like campy and terrible like that. It just looks campy. Like it looks like it was legitimately shot back then. Which
Like
is
35 millimeter
Yeah,
type?
very
Yeah,
interesting
okay.
looking. And they say that's going to be great. And then the other one is The Outfit. The Outfitter? The Outfit?
Haven't heard of it.
The Outfit. The Outfit. It's kind of like a gangster movie type thing. Kind of looks interesting. Kind of looks good. Also has good reviews.
Is that
interestingly
these
enough.
are coming out
This week.
this weekend?
Yeah.
When does the new
Theaters.
Jordan Peele come out?
Great question. Not 100% sure.
I kinda
don't think
like-
that it's super soon though. They just put the trailer out for it not too long ago,
Nope.
and it wasn't. It didn't really give me very much.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How
Got a
do
few minutes
you?
left. Let's do it. July
Oh, shit.
22nd.
Oh,
Yeah, you
wow.
got time, dude.
Okay.
Just settle in.
How do you feel? How do you feel about what Jordan Peele is doing in the aspect of taking horror and kind of putting a twist on it of how Black people would act in horror situations? I guess is that what he's doing? From our point of view or
I feel like
how we would act in these situations.
Yeah. It's tricky. I don't know.
How do you identify with it as a white man? Like how
I feel
when
like
you watch it?
I feel like he makes films that are like culturally very like significant and are really tied to
The
the experiences of like a black person.
Yeah.
Which I think is very different than how obviously horror movies have been made in the past. Or even like there's a lot of like horror comedy movies that, you know, like Scary Movie and all that, right? Which even those, Indy, you're all tied up there, babe. Even those are like, they're based on movies, right?
Yeah, front paw.
Like even those are like based on movies that are kind of fundamentally like white movies.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to really have that kind of perspective and take.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think that's why it's been so successful. I think that's why it's been so like interesting and unique. Like you obviously are seeing things from a perspective that is just
I think the titles are funny. Like Nope. And that's a kind of a trait or a nuance that you would get from a black character in a predominantly white horror movie, and they're like nope, like that is like the titles of a. So I think that's funny. I'm just happy the movies are good. Like they're not trash.
They're great.
You know what I mean? Like if he was trying to do this and they were terrible, I'd be like, oh, dude, you gotta stop.
That would be a huge bummer. I don't know. I feel like very fortunate that there's somebody like him that's making horror films to that level.
Yeah.
It's really uncommon. There's not much out there. There's not many people out there that are making good horror movies, let alone ones that are like culturally significant, if that makes sense.
I don't know how long he's gonna milk this tit, but
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. He's he's been so good at it. Like it's been so good.
Yeah.
What was the HBO series that he did?
Lovecraft.
Oh my gosh.
You did you watch?
Loved that.
Did you read the book?
I did not.
My wife and I read the books.
After or before?
At the same time. And my wife is like a speed reader, so she finished it way before me. But it's really on par with the show.
Yeah.
And there was people were very surprised that it didn't get a second season, but it came out as a mini series. Mm-hmm. And people wanted it to get a season 2, and I'm like, it's only one book. It's a book. That's it. It's over.
Yeah, that's another one of those shows that's just like, it's so good, and to be fair, like the world that they built is so like unique, and it's so like there's so much to it.
Yeah,
like it's very complex. There's so many things that you feel like you could spend so much more time here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's wild.
Yeah.
It's kind of like watching, not that like you're into Harry Potter or anything, but it would be like watching the first Harry Potter and then being like, that's it.
Yeah. But there's so much more to build on. You got what, 4 Harry Potter movies. Then we got, speaking of, Fantastic Beasts. Is this the third one?
This is the third one. Yeah, I think it's the final one in the series. Yeah.
Which will take us to how we probably get Dumbledore. Not Dumbledore. The what's the academy that the kids go that they create? Hogwarts. Sorry. Yeah. And I'm thinking that this movie will bridge the gap between Harry Potter 1 and how we get from here to creating Hogwarts.
Got you. Yeah, could be. I'm not very familiar with the current like Harry Potter series that's out. What is it called?
Fantastic Beasts, but each one has
Fantastic Beasts. Okay,
name.
so I saw the first one and I wasn't in love with it, and I did not watch the second one, so I'm not super familiar with that aspect of it.
My wife is all about. I am not. Again, I respect it.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. I just was not. I did not read the books. I was not a big Harry Potter fan, but I appreciate novelizations turned cinematic adaptations that are created with authenticity.
Yeah.
And the Harry Potter world has done that.
Yeah.
And giving us prequels, I think everyone enjoys a prequel. Like you kind of want to know how we got there, that world building. Yeah. And I appreciate them. They're fun to watch. And it's funny because when we're watching Marvel stuff, my wife's like, so you got to give me the backstory. So when we're watching Harry Potter stuff, I'm in her ear like, all right, so what's this mean? Like, who is this? What X, Y, Z? So I will be seeing this third Fantastic Beasts. And
yeah, I got to get caught up.
Yeah.
I got to get caught up.
I think they're on HBO.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, Lovecraft. Great.
Great.
Loved it.
Loved
Definitely wanted to see more, but I understand why we're not getting it. So I think that brings us to a close about an hour.
Great show,
so
man.
we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until next week.